Hey everybody, it's Brock and we got a brand new episode of All About. Today we are at the 2024's Aquashella Dallas, the world's premier aquarium festival. They say it's the largest aquarium marketplace in America featuring freshwater, saltwater, reptiles, amphibians, insects, spiders, you name it. They had easily over 100 vendors there showcasing their equipment, fish, corals, even had artists that were selling their animal artwork. It was great. Give a big shout out to my brother and his photography company, Drifting Daffodil. He got all these great shots for me that you'll be seeing in the video while we walked around and checked out the booths. Can't thank you enough, big bro. Now, I didn't come as a vendor or a guest speaker. I really just wanted to come check out the new stuff that's coming out for saltwater hobbyists, shop for some new corals, listen to some panelists, and then later on just do the voiceover of what I saw. So, hope you enjoy the show. So there was a massive turnout at this event. This was my first ever Aquashella, and I was super impressed. Tons of the tanks we had, frags galore to choose from. Prices were really fair too. Some booths had keychains, frag racks, clocks, you name it. The very first booth I passed by recognized my All About shirt and asked if I was Brock, and that just made my day. So shout out to Houston Aquarium Warehouse. You guys were great. The colors on some of these torch corals were insane. Lime greens, oranges, blues, just unreal looking under the LEDs. The frags were typically one head of torch, sometimes two. Give them a ton of flow and they would absolutely love it. Pretty much any booth you were looking at, you were shoulder to shoulder with people. It was pretty nuts to see how many people showed up that first day. SPS corals were something I really wanted to look for, and boy did they have a lot to pick from. Just hearing all the different names they had: rainbows, Aussie golds, frog skins, pink Cadillacs, yellow tip acros, aquamarine stags, jawbreakers. I swear the more you ask, the crazier the names got. Now if you are scared of spiders, please skip this part. But we did see some wild, creepy crawlers too. This was a really cool display from Siche. They had a tank filled with these tiny balls and their power heads blowing them around, just showing you how well they do with flow in your tank. I have one currently in my tank and it does a great job. The freshwater tanks were really cool to see. I love how people are able to make that aquascaping with the wood, rocks, and live plants all together. Turns out really pretty when it's done right. Saw a lot of guppies, very colorful betas. Anybody looking for some freshwater puffers? Now, this was something I had seen a lot of videos on social media for, but my first time seeing these tiny tanks and freshwater shrimp swimming around. It was really cool. They even had booths selling live plants. Now, this was really cool. This was an artificial reef geckos, and they looked insanely realistic. So props to them because they looked awesome. The really popular freshwater discus and so many colors that they come in, those were a really big hit. I've seen some really pretty tanks put together for those. Now, I've always had the plan that the next tank I set up is going to be a seahorse specific tank. But then I saw these jellyfish specific tanks, and dude, I was blown away. It was super cool to see. Now, I've only been to 2 saltwater conventions so far, but one of my favorite things to see is big corals. And they bring some awesome ones to these kind of shows. I'm talking about the large colonies of acans, scolies, the lobos, and my personal favorites, the donuts. Now, you would easily see price tags on these for $400 or more, and it's because they are really rare to come by with the colors that are on them, and they don't reproduce in the tank setting easily or ever. Most of these donuts you see, they are going to be the only one that's ever in your tank. It's not like a torch or a hammer that's going to split off and you'll end up with new heads throughout the year. You really buy these as the spectacle in your aquarium. They have some of the most insane colors that you'll ever find on a coral. I'll tell you some more acro names that I heard just because it cracks me up. It's nuts. We saw Bollywoods, Firecrackers, Bonsais, Fox Flames, Bubble Baths, Green Slimers, Oregon Blues. The list goes on and on. If I ever end up with a wild spin-off color that's unique, I'm naming them after my nickname, Broccoli. What's also so fun with these brain corals is they will open up their mouths like a volcano to take in whatever you feed, pellets, liquid food, and they'll sweep out with those tentacles to grab what they need, and eventually they'll close around it. Ounce mushrooms are a big hit, but man, do they carry a hefty price tag on them. They really look like something that's out of this world. I've been wanting a flower pot coral in my tank, and these guys had all sorts of variations of them. They had lime greens, reds, pinks, even multicolored ones. I had never seen that before. This was my first time seeing a purple tip elegance coral, and oh my gosh, I loved it. Under the darker blue LEDs, it really stood out. Anybody tried out sea fans in their reef? Make sure not to lift them out into the open air, and they filter feed like crazy. Always had a hard time keeping them in my tanks because it seemed like they just needed more and more and more food. I was super stoked to see these. They are sunburst anemones. It's going to be a variation of rose bulb anemones with just insane colors. Looks like they're on fire. This was definitely my favorite acan that I saw. Biggest Lobo I've ever seen. Had to have been bigger than a softball. Also really like this donut with the light blue in the center. Like my favorite color right there. I also went to 2 guest speakers. One was Salem Clemens from Reef Builders. He presented on coral diseases and a lot of the science behind it. Really enjoyed that one. He shared a lot of things I had never heard before from his research, so it was super impressive, and I can't wait to see what else he comes out with. I also went to George Maverick's one for like an intro to saltwater. As you know, he's like one of the biggest YouTubers out there for saltwater, and so that one's really enjoyable on how he likes to set up his first saltwater tank. And we're going to end the video off with some lizards because that was just fun to see. Overall, this was a ton of fun. Got to see not just saltwater stuff, but a lot of other things that are in this industry of hobbyists that like to dive into new things. So it was super fun, a lot of fun for the family. Hope everybody enjoyed this video all about. If you were at Aquashella, let me know how you enjoyed it and what your favorite part was. I'll definitely be looking forward to going to future saltwater conventions because I just had a ton of fun. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this video. I plan on adding any of the vendors I met in the description with their links so you can go check out some of their stuff they have for sale. As always, stay safe, be kind, and I will see y'all later.